Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today. You ready?
Always ready to dive in.
Awesome. So today's deep dive is all about relationships. All kinds, really.
Oh, the good, the bad, the complicated.
Exactly. No, but seriously, we've got this collection of tips and advice, super insightful stuff, all about building those strong, healthy relationships.
Yeah, sounds right up our alley.
Right. And I think anyone listening is probably interested in strengthening at least one relationship in their life, right?
For sure. Romantic relationships, friendships, family dynamics, even work relationships, it's all connected.
It really is. And get this, you're about to discover some seriously useful tips you can put into practice, like today.
No waiting, just action. Love it.
Right. Okay, so skimming through this material, there were a few tips that I was like, wait, what? In a good way, of course.
The ones that make you think a little differently.
Yes. For example, there's this whole thing about maintaining individuality.
Interesting. You'd think strong relationships mean you're always together, right?
Totally. But the source actually stresses the importance of personal space, having your own hobbies, keeping your own identity within the relationship.
It's like that saying, distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Right? Maybe, but more like space makes the relationship stronger.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, another one that caught my eye was keep the romance alive. Now, this isn't just about romantic relationships, even though it sounds like it.
Right, because keeping things fresh and exciting is important for any bond.
Exactly. Like, how do you keep the spark alive in a friendship that's been going on for years? What does that even look like? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I think the source had a really good point about remembering the early days of any relationship. When everything was new and exciting, you were discovering things together, sharing new experiences.
Oh, like inside jokes and trying new things together.
Exactly. It's that sense of novelty and shared discovery that we often lose over time. But we can bring it back, try a new restaurant, go on a weekend trip, even just pick up a new hobby together. Anything that brings back that feeling of excitement and connection.
Love it. Inject that novelty.
Yeah.
Okay, one more that really stuck with me, and I think it's super relevant to everyone, is embrace change together.
Oh, change, the one constant, right?
Well, tell me about it. Life is all about change. We're constantly evolving. Things happen. But how do we make sure our relationships can weather those changes and come out stronger?
Well, this source really hammers home the importance of communication, and not just any communication, but open and honest dialogue.
So not just talking about the change, but about how we're feeling about it.
Exactly. It's about sharing both the good and the bad, the excitement and the anxieties that come with any kind of change. Bottling things up never helps.
It really doesn't. So open communication is key. Got it.
And that's where active listening comes in. It's not just about hearing the words, but truly understanding the message, the emotions behind them.
There's a big difference. You can hear someone talking without actually listening to what they're saying.
Huge difference. And the source even cited a study. Couples who practiced active listening felt more understood and supported, even during arguments.
Wow, so there's actual research behind this. That's impressive.
Right. It shows how powerful active listening can be, and it ties into another important tip. Respect each other.
Because true listening is a form of respect, right?
Exactly. Respecting someone's opinion, even if you don't agree with it, valuing their perspective, that's what builds a strong foundation.
Makes sense. And speaking of foundations, the source also emphasizes established trust. Like, it's a cornerstone of any strong relationship.
And you know what they said? That trust is like a bridge connecting two people. To build that bridge, you need the pillars of reliability and encouragement.
Ooh, that's a beautiful analogy.
Right. So be there for each other, keep your promises, celebrate each other's successes. Those are the bricks that build that bridge of trust.
Love it. Okay, so we've covered communication, respect, trust. What about quality time? The source mentions prioritize quality time. And I'm thinking, what does that even look like across different types of relationships?
Yeah, good point. It definitely looks different depending on the relationship.
Right, like with a romantic partner, it might be date nights, but what about friends or family?
Well, with friends, it could be as simple as setting aside a specific time to catch up without distractions, really focusing on the conversation.
No phones allowed.
Haha, exactly. And with family, it might be a regular family dinner where everyone puts away their devices and just enjoys each other's company, shares what's going on in their lives.
It's about being present, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, too.
Right, totally. It's about making a conscious effort to connect on a deeper level.
I like that. Okay, but let's be real. Not all sunshine and rainbows, right? Relationships have their ups and downs. What about those tougher moments? The source mentions practice forgiveness, and honestly, that's sometimes the hardest thing to do.
It's definitely a process. But the source makes a good point. Holding on to anger and resentment hurts you more than the other person.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
But letting go of those feelings, it's easier said than done.
I know. One thing they suggested is trying to understand the other person's perspective, not to excuse their actions, but to soften your heart a little.
See their side of the story. That's actually really helpful.
It can make forgiveness feel more achievable, for sure.
And what about compromise? The source talks about be open to compromise, but also setting boundaries. How do those two things even work together? They seem kind of opposite.
It's a balancing act, for sure. Think of boundaries not as walls, but as guidelines for respectful interaction. Communicate your needs clearly, but also be willing to find that middle ground.
So boundaries protect you and your needs, while compromise helps find solutions that work for everyone.
You got it. And remember, compromise shouldn't mean sacrificing your values or core needs. It's about finding a win-win situation.
All right. Okay, as we wrap up, I have to mention one last thing that I
Yeah.
loved, because it's so simple but so powerful. Show appreciation.
Yes, the little things, right.
Exactly. The source actually shared a story about a couple who started leaving little love notes for each other, and it completely revitalized their relationship. It reminded me that grand gestures are nice, but it's those consistent small acts of love and appreciation that really nourish a relationship over time.
Absolutely. So, what are our takeaways? Building strong, fulfilling relationships is about balancing individual needs with togetherness, prioritizing open communication, and practicing active listening, respect, trust, and, of course, forgiveness and compromise.
And remembering that relationships are a journey, not a destination. It's about continuous effort, understanding, and growing together.
Beautifully put. So, for everyone listening, think about one small change inspired by what we discussed that you can implement today to strengthen a relationship that's important to you.
It can be a tiny change, but it can make a big difference. Until next time, keep those relationships strong and keep diving deep.